everyone, welcome back. This is Marisa from Call to Mothering, and today I'm going to be showing you our homeschool room. So here's where the learning takes place. Actually, our learning happens all over the house, but here is where most of our lessons happen during the day. And here is our school table. My husband built this for us about 4 years ago. He went to Lowe's and got some shelving units on top of it. On top, our tabletop is actually made out of 4 different shelving units that he put together. And then on the bottom are regular bookshelves that he attached underneath, which store school supplies and books. And my daughter has her readers here on the bottom. She's got her binders that she keeps her stories in, and pictures, crayons and pencils and colored pencils. She even has chapstick. And these chairs on either side of the table we got from a consignment shop. And they are extremely helpful because they are tall enough for the kids to be able to sit. This table is pretty high, so we needed chairs that were a little bit taller, so when they were younger they could actually reach the table. And before we had this table built, we were using a white folding table, and all 3 of us were sitting at it together, and it was very crowded and very small, and things kept falling off of it constantly. So my husband graciously built this table for us, and it has been amazing. On top of the table we have our globe and our tape dispenser, my children's caddies, which they keep their writing utensils and glue and scissors, markers, things like that. And we got them for about $1 or $2 at Target. You can go to any store and get these for a couple of dollars, and they are so handy to keep all the supplies in. And here's some sand putty, which my daughter loves to play with while I'm reading or doing a lesson where she doesn't need to write things down. And she's got her notebooks and workbooks, her math manipulatives down here, and some flashcards. These tiles are great for division and multiplication, to actually see the concepts, and some extra supplies down here. And then we have our wall calendar, which we still use a fair amount. We used it a lot more when my children were younger and they were learning the months and days of the week. And they still like to change it every month. They like to change it from one month to the next. And here's our TV. I joke that it's kind of like one of those TVs on a rolling cart that we had in school growing up. They might still have them today, but ours pretty much doesn't go anywhere. And then here is our whiteboard. I like to write all over it when I'm teaching lessons. My son likes to use it to write all of his math problems down. Up here we have a timeline that he actually made a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago now. He drew some pictures for it. And here is where I sit. I've got my laptop and my own caddy with writing utensils and scissors, markers, And my Post-it note dispenser, which I love. My son actually got this for me for Christmas last year. And here is our main bookshelf. We have our school books and science kits. This is our science shelf. And our history shelf with our lap books that we'll be using this year for world history. And these are all the read alouds and the chapter books that I'll be reading. And my instructor's guides. And then these canvas bins are for storage. This one holds our art supplies. And then over here we have some markers and a case with extra crayons and colored pencils. And then scrap paper, which is the white paper, and construction paper. And in the middle, we just keep some games and some flashcards and manipulatives. And then here's where we keep the Play-Doh, which my daughter loves to play with, just like the putty when I am reading and doing a lesson where she just has to pay attention. It just keeps her hands occupied and helps her retain the information. And then down here, we have just some extra workbooks that are stored until we need them. And then up here are some of our binders. I have some lesson plans in there. My son has 2 binders for his stories that he writes. My daughter likes to use this clipboard to put her papers on and work on her assignments. And it actually opens up and she can store her pencils and erasers in there. And she likes to bring that all over the house and even outside while we're reading. If she hasn't finished her assignment by the time we're ready to read outside. And then we have our wall map, which I've labeled most of the countries on, and it's very helpful to point out different places that we're learning about and different people groups. And then this is actually one of the first things we purchased when we started homeschooling, just a basic shelving unit with some drawers. We didn't have this bookshelf at first, so this is what we used for a few years before we upgraded, and it worked great. It was inexpensive, and we just keep some extra markers in here, and my daughter likes to keep her stamps in here as well. And we've got our game drawer and some puzzles. And then this is our extra school supplies drawer. As you can see, we still have about 100 pencils left in this box. My kids like to sharpen their pencils pretty much down to a stub, so they don't use very many pencils during the year. And then here's our CD player and our box with some musical instruments. You can see that our tambourine has seen better days. Our stack of CDs, these are mostly scripture memory songs. And then our basket with some books in it. And then here is the other side of our school table. I have books on this shelf and some leftover instructor's guides I'm trying to figure out a good place for. I think these will probably end up in a plastic tote up in the attic one day. And then over here is my son's bookshelf with his workbooks and some notebooks, school supplies, and this bottom shelf is where he is keeping his readers. He's got lots of readers this year for 6th grade. And his caddy over here, Putty as well, because he loves it just as much as his sister.
So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the tour today. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also ring the notification bell to be notified when new videos are posted. I'll see you next time.